Hey, Brian Parker here, doing another exciting video. I hope not to have any landscapers, air conditioning repair guys, dogs and cats fighting around me. I think today we can do a clean video. Well, I just noticed there's a cat up there. Okay, so, but he'll stay asleep. Today is a member's comment said, hey, I heard you do a throwaway. What's that about? And the throwaway was, I mentioned what's called the Statute of Frauds. And I talked about, hey, the word frauds, that's interesting, that's in the statute. So I practiced law for 32, 33 years. It went by fast. And there's always these laws or statutes that are in the peripheral. They're there and you may mention them, but you never really ingest them and live with them and play with them, even though most of my cases have a statute of frauds context in them. So today we're going to talk about what is the statute of frauds and how can you use it in your defense of a debt collection lawsuit. So it has the underpinning of what's called Article 9. Article 9 essentially is a national rule book for everyday business deals. So I think in the last 5 or 6 videos, you've heard me talk about mirroring, the concept that all laws are basically the same in any state. They're all mirrored off the federal rule book, if you will, with their own little state flavors. One of the most extreme examples of the difference between federal law and even other states is Louisiana, which is all set of its own set of rules down there, be they written or not written as far as the UCC goes. But generally, all state rules mirror federal or other state rules. You just have a template, and then you add your stuff, and you've got, why do all the work? You got a template. It's kind of the AI of it all. So look for the UCC in all of these, and I'll show you how. Essentially, this is what the Statute of Frauds is. So again, Statute of Frauds isn't necessarily all about frauds. It's really the prevention of frauds, and that comes in many contexts. So let's edit a Statute of Frauds. So every state keeps the same idea. That's that mirroring again of the federal UCC. Usually in a section titled Statute of Frauds. It lists transactions that judges think are especially vulnerable to fabrication. A great example of that is you make a promise with your buddy, if I ever hit the lottery, I'm cutting you in for 50%. Well, can you uphold that? So you're gonna know the answer to that real soon. So someone's promised to pay someone else's debt. Hello. Land sales contracts, that's the same as debts, that can't finish within a year. Remember that. Assignments or accounts. If the deal isn't in a signed writing that clearly describes what's being transferred, makes sense in a debt collection context. You've heard me say it all the time. Use their documents against it. Use the absence of your debt or following the law in the documents against them. The court treats it as never being existed. So it's not in writing, not signed, and doesn't fit your state's requirements. Is it a year? Is it under $600? Et cetera, depending on what the state is. It can't be enforced. So your application today is looking at the black letter rule of it all. So there's case law, there's legislators coming up with their own statutes. There's even some courts, like in Michigan, the Supreme Court promulgates rules for attorneys and how things are served. A lot of rules are promulgated with a lot of parts of the government. But black letter law can only be interpreted. It can't be changed unless it's by the legislature. So we apply the Statute of Frauds in the chain of title context. And there are certain cases in certain states, especially Michigan. We're going to go to Michigan-centric stuff today just to explain conceptually the concept of the Statute of Frauds. So, attached to this video at killdebt.com will be, let me put it up there for you, Shazam, before we get going, an assignment letter. I'm going to create it. I love to create my letters. An assignment letter that you're going to send to a specific assignee that's suing you, or an assignor that an assignee is claiming, yep, that assignor gave us this stuff. I'll have a letter for you that you send. Again, some people go, well, what if they don't respond? Even better. What? Because here, Your Honor, I even asked them without having to do a lawsuit. I said, hey, can you just prove to me the basic elements of why you're suing me? Because I've sent you a validation letter, which essentially that's what the assignment letter is going to be, but putting their legal feet to the fire as far as the statute of frauds is concerned. And so if you can say, look, I sent them a letter saying, show me an assignment, show me it was in writing, and then you go, Judge, in, let's say, Montana, the statute in Montana, the statute of fraud, Your Honor, requires XYZ. I asked them to provide XYZ. To this day, you don't have anything. I've done that. Your Honor, if you have anything in front of you right now that shows an assignment from X to Y, I'll fall on my sword. And it's a great question because they don't have it. So that letter, you're asking them to produce it. You're doubling down on asking them to produce it. And if they don't, now it's even better for your statute of frauds defense. I'll attach my show notes. These ones were particularly hard today. I'm going to say to you, I put 3 hours into writing this dumb script today, okay? I say that because I probably won't use half of it, but I got into this thing today and I had so much more to do, but I just wanted to know myself what the hell I'm talking about so I can impart that to you. I like to create content rather than report content, meaning I like to sit down and write for you like you've asked me to prepare a memorandum, because who wants to listen to me? But if I have this thing, hopefully you do want to listen to me and some of it makes sense and helps you, but I think you should demand that I do the work, that I know what I'm talking about, and then the stuff that I give you will be so much more powerful for you. Yeah, I go long and I talk on and on, but I want to assure you that I put work into the content that I produce. It's important to me that you know that. So these show notes represent that. I'm going to add that Weltman-Weinberg article from their own website. You can see how a collection attorney looked at the statute of frauds and how he favored us guys, the debtors. And then I've got a checkoff box that I created, yes, that I'll attach to killdebt.com, where if any of these boxes are not checked off, then you can say, Your Honor, no check off, no standing. You don't have to, would attach this right on the front page of my answer. That's what I would do. I think the court would appreciate that. There's no rule against it. You're really just answering the lawsuit. So I have my answer, my prelim. I go, look. And so the court's going to go, okay, let me take a look at this. It's so unique to have that checkbox and include it in your answer. The court gets bored. They're human beings with a lot of work to do. So you got to stick out. So that checkbox, you want to grab onto that, killdebt.com. Lastly, mid-June of 2025, fingers crossed, you'll have the AI answer. The answer information you've all been looking for. I'm going to put my brain, my documents. There's probably 1,200 documents now of one form or another, of answers, counterclaims, answers to counterclaims, motions, answers to motions, discovery. You just put in your information or request. Like I was on ChatGPT. So this is going to be called ParkerGPT. So let's have the little airplane, ParkerGPT. And like I was on ChatGPT today, I was looking at a case. I say, hey, that case, by the way, ChatGPT is the worst for case law. It's always wrong. You got to verify it. So I think this is going to make it better where you're just going to have Parker's stuff verified, done the work. And I said, here's an assignment. And I PDF'd it into ChatGPT and it plonked out some stuff. And I looked at it, was pretty good. That's how ParkerGPT is going to work. you will put in your complaint against you, or somebody's filing discovery, or somebody's, you want to know how to answer a federal lawsuit, or you want to write a letter. You want to write an assignment letter. Put into the chat box, if you will. It's not a chat box, so we're not going that way. You just put into the application your information, and up pops a letter, up pops an answer, up pops a counterclaim, up pops the most important document you can write, your counter affidavit. And remember, when you're doing this with ParkerGPT, the more you put in, the better your result. I do not want to be a service that does not do the work. I do not want to be a service that hasn't got tons of information, so that when your answer shows up, when your counterclaim, whatever it is you produce from ParkerGPT, people are taking notice. Why? It's all about leverage. If an attorney's going, uh-oh, this guy knows what they're doing, that means something. I have plenty of debt collector friends. I really do. I'm not the type that goes, they believe this and I believe this. You just find another ground, and it benefits both your client and theirs, right? So you find something in common with everybody. So I know they do not like to lose to unrepresented individuals. And as this AI revolution goes along, I think eventually, in a couple of years, I hate to say this, attorneys will be less relevant and useful. If you don't believe me, look at doctors. We used to go and get our medical treatment, even tests, and then wait a couple of days, and then we got to go back in there. Can you tell me what this all means? Now you just go to Walmart or some service, Quest. They take your blood, and online you can get your results. That's where the law is going, and that's why I started KillDebt.com. And that's why I am creating KillDebt.ai. All our members, we're looking for 50 members, current members of KillDebt.com, to be, not guinea pigs, but to have fun for free using the AI application. So if you're listening to this or viewing this, send me an email, and I'll make you part of that test plan where you'll get free use as a member of KillDebt.ai. I want you to find mistakes, so eventually I make great gains and corrections and improvements on the site, so that site is even better for you. I've talked a lot. I hope you understand the statute of frauds and what it means and what the title means. It does cover fraudulent activity. It's really a nice proactive way to prevent fraudulent activity that you can use against debt buyers and debt collectors. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.